Hello and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm gonna try to draw this. Except I'm going to try to add shading to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to draw it realistically, but I don't really know what I'm doing, so we're gonna set it up right there, right out of view. Yep, and we're just gonna start drawing. Now, I should have done this vertically, but whatever. Or horizontally, I mean. Now, I'm going to try to just get the general shape of the Xbox controller down first. And then we'll worry about details. But I'm also not going to worry too much about details. And I'm also not going to worry too much if it doesn't look perfect. Because the whole point of this drawing is not for it to look amazing. It is for practice with shading. That's the goal. Yeah. Alright, I might have done this wrong because this is gonna be too not wide enough. So where's my eraser? Of course it's behind this. And yes, I keep my eraser in a little Altoids tin. Like 1 minute into the video and I already stopped drawing. Because I messed up. Alright, let's erase that. Yeah, we're going to pretend like that's erased really well. It's about that wide. So let's try to get these down first. These being the bottom on the top of the controller. If we get the bottom and the top of the controller down, then maybe it'll be easier to draw. That's my guess. I don't really know. We're just guessing. Because of course we are. Guessing is the best way to learn or something. I mean, it's not, but I'm just going to say that. Alright. There's actually is a part right there that shows up too behind it. There we go. And straight up. Then this goes down. Then we're going to need a little bit of a line here, which we're going to have to shade to show the difference, but that's fine. This whole thing needs shading anyways. We'll pretend like that's incredibly straight and perfect. And then we'll add the bumper, which I can already tell you this ain't going to look the best. I am realizing that the controller part, or the grippy part, is too long. I am realizing that. Do not worry. I will fix that. But I want to try to get these bumpers down first. Why? Because I want to get both sides of the controller down first. Right. Then we'll go ahead and do this. Go like that. And how far should we go? Well, first of all, it needs to go more. And second of all, maybe that far? And then pretty wide out. I could do like the thing where I measure it with my pencil and then like put it at my drawing, but that I feel like that really only works when you're drawing something far away and you can use it as a scale measurement, because I think that's what it's meant for. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just some random technique that I don't feel like explaining. But that's definitely too skinny. What if we go like this? And then that. here. Go here. There we go. Okay. It doesn't look the best. It's still pretty wrong, but I think I'm gonna take it as is because of I'm trying to do the details, not necessarily get the Xbox controller 100% correct. I said the details, didn't I? I meant the shading. I guess shading is details, but it's a different type of details. Like the buttons on it and stuff, I'm obviously going to add those, but I'm not going to worry too much about making sure they're 100% accurate. Because like I said, trying to do the shading. We're going to try to get shading right. Because we need to learn realistic shading. Why? Even though I don't want to draw realism? Because I'm taking a course and it's telling me to draw it. So I need to practice it. Why practice something I don't want to learn in the first place? Because I want to learn art overall. Even if I don't plan on drawing realism, I would like to understand it. And since art in general all stems from realism, I think understanding realism would definitely help me in the long run. Or at least, that's my guess and hopes. Is it going to be true? I have no idea. How could I know? Only time will tell. Although I can say probably. Understanding realism will most likely help me in the long run. I mean, I don't quite see why it wouldn't. It's just more practice in art. So, it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't help me. At least a bit. Alright. And we're going to need to add the Xbox button. And sadly, this isn't my treasured controller. My treasured one being my blue one. I do have that one, but it is in shambles as of it is literally in pieces. I can show you. It's in pieces. The shell of it is, it's in a box up there. But I took it apart because it got stick drift and I could not fix the stick drift. So instead of just throwing it away or selling its parts or something, I decided to strip it of its shell completely, and I'm going to put it on that controller because this is the controller I currently use, so I'm going to put all those pieces in that one, essentially just replacing the broken parts. Why? Because that shell is special. Why? Because of reasons. I don't need to explain myself to you. This, we're going to need to do some shading here too because of the joystick. That's going to be a whole mess shading that, I'm realizing. Alright. We're going to try to get this as correct as we can, and we'll try to get that joystick down there as correct as we can too. I just when I was drawing it rough, I completely forgot that, oh, this is going to be a thing. This is going to be something that's difficult. Yeah, it looks like a joystick. Definitely. Trust the process, alright? That's what I'm going to say. Alright. Okie dokie. I could have drawn the box in the middle first. But there's that thingy, a rough version of it. Then we're gonna have to add our buttons. Okay. which I'm not going to bother actually putting the buttons on it. I didn't do it for those ones, so not going to bother doing it for that one. Alright. I think this is looking good so far. But also, I haven't actually started even doing the shading yet, so technically I haven't even started what the whole point of this drawing is. It definitely needs to be like more, these need to be more vertical, but we're not gonna do that because I didn't want to. And that's about it. That's why we're not gonna do that, because I didn't want to and I'm lazy. Alright, actually we should put the circle right there, although that's not entirely correct. Neither is the placement of any of these, so... Alright, cool. We're gonna pretend like that's right because I can tell what the lines I need are. Now, we're going to go over these buttons one more time before we add shading to it because of... Well, we're going to need some darker lines, you know, to start. Alright, and we're going to do the whole thing, even though we probably don't need to redo the whole thing, but whatever. Ooh, and this one's all white, one color. It's all white, except for the buttons, so I don't have to worry about different colors. That's kind of nice, but also... maybe I needed more variety to make it better. I don't know. We're gonna have to shade these, and I did get one of these thingies, like a blending tool or something. I used it just to test it out. It works. It's a little softer than I like, which is kind of the reason I don't like realism that much, is the softness just kind of don't like it, but we're gonna use it, try to make it look more realistic, you know. It might not work as well because of the type of pencil I'm using, but I think this is gonna help me because of the type of pencil I'm using, since this pencil doesn't blend as well as like a, what are they called, 2B pencils or whatever. It doesn't blend as well as those, so this might help me be able to blend, you know. Alright. If you're wondering why I keep saying I don't like realism, I think it lacks creativity. Or at least some creativity. I think it kind of lacks it, so just not a huge fan of realism. Obviously there are some creative realisms, but overall I think it just lacks the creativity that I like. The type of creativity. Are you serious? The type that I like. Okay, hold on, let me pause this. Alrighty. It like, the pen lead broke in the sharpener and it wouldn't come out. I think this pencil is somewhat reaching retirement age. It's not quite there. It's still got about like, I don't know, like this much more to go, but it's close to getting put in the home. The home where I put all the other cheddars. Because once a cheddar gets too small, it gets retired before breaking. If I ever break any cheddars, I will create a grave for them. I will create graves for the cheddars. Their sacrifices shall not be forgotten. Alright. And this is Cheddar the Third. He is the third in his bloodline. They are a proud family of pencils. And none of them have mothers, because I couldn't be bothered to come up with other cheese names for the mothers. I came up with one mother. The second generation Cheddar has a mother, and her name is I think her name was Jack or something. I can't even remember. I don't know. I couldn't be bothered to come up with more pencils. That's why I name all of them are Cheddar, because then I can keep the same name and not have to come up with new ones. Because I'm not the best with names. I do name pretty much everything, but I'm not the best with names. Especially when something needs a name. If something needs a name, I can never think of anything to actually name that thing. But if it doesn't need a name, I can come up with like what I think is the perfect name. That's why I don't like it when people ask me to name things. Alright, we're also not going to put the Xbox logo in yet. Actually, we might as well. Oops. And we already messed it up. Oh yeah. 10 out of 10 Xbox logo. Would Xbox again. Yeah, I don't even know what that is. Alright, let's just do that. Let's also use this moment to state that Xbox is better than PlayStation, and I will fight you. And why do I say it's better than PlayStation? Because I've never used a PlayStation, and I like chaos. No, it's actually better as PC, but that's unfair to rate PC and consoles on the same scale, because they're completely different experiences. I grew up with a console the majority of my life, and then I've had a PC for what, like, I don't know, a couple years now, and PC, completely different experience than console. If you never had a console and skipped straight to PC, you missed a whole thing. And if you have a console and have never used a PC, you're missing a lot. But if I had to choose one and never use the other, it really depends. If you were to ask younger me, I would probably say console, because consoles are just really convenient. They work and are good at what they do. But if you were to ask me now, I'd definitely say PC, because there's just more stuff I can do on PC. I can use my PC to draw, I can use my PC to record, I can do all kinds of stuff. Because I don't game as much as I used to anymore. Like during 2020, during lockdown, pretty much just gamed for like 8 hours a day, every day, if not longer. Oh, that was great. 10 out of 10, best years of my life. Anyone else have an amazing lockdown? Probably, because I always hear about other people having a good one. Whatever, let's stop talking about that and draw joysticks. Actually, we should try and shade this. That should be lighter, this inner part. And that should be lighter. And this should be a little darker here. And this should be lighter but still dark. And this should be a little bit of a split. And then I didn't mean to draw that line that's out there whatsoever. We're gonna erase that. And we're gonna see if this thing works as well as I want it to. I don't know. I kind of didn't do this the best in the first place. But also, I don't know how to shade that in the first place. So we're going to move on to the joysticks. How long is this video? I just want to make sure this isn't getting too long. Okay, it's only 20 minutes so far. Alright. We're going to do the outer outline. Alright. You know, I'm constantly told to draw with my wrist and not with my arm and not my wrist. And to those people, I say shut up. You definitely should draw with your wrist if you're, your arm. If you're starting to draw, do that. If you start doing that now, that'll be good. But I have so much less movement when I'm doing this, especially since I'm drawing on the ground. This is not level with me. I am like up here and it's down there. It's harder. So I just don't care. It does limit what I can do a little bit, but not that much, honestly. It's not like horrible. It's just not the best. Alright, we're gonna try to go like this. And then like shade outwards. This is gonna not look like a joystick at all. But we're trying, alright? Alright. I'm trying to get a darker line, but it's just like blending in with that. Alright, there's our 10 out of 10 joystick. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Sharpen this with my fingers. Now it's all sharp. Now there's lead on my fingers. I don't even want to do that now. That joystick. Let's try to add some shading to this. Alright, we need it to be darker on this part, but lighter right there. And there's light coming from this way, so we'll darken over here. Or, light's coming from that way, so the shadows are all over here. Alright, so we're gonna try and do some shadows, you know? Some shadows. There's actually a little bit of a spot under here, which you can see, which I should draw in, which might only be here because I am lower at the moment, but we're gonna pretend like it was there the entire time, and you can see it from every angle, is what we're gonna say. Is that true? No. Are we gonna say it's true? Yes. Are we gonna draw it like that? Yes. Why? Because of the disregard to how shadows actually work. Or no, not shadows, perspective, I mean. Alright. And then there's going to be some shadow of this. And a little tiny bit of shadow from the buttons. Which I could probably just like thicken that out to do the shadow for this. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking like it is. Is that good? I don't know yet. I don't really know. Can't really say yet. But it's looking like something. Alright, we need to first darken that, and then we're going to need to darken this. Just keep adding shadow. And now we're going to try to blend our shadow. I'm hoping this works out well, but I can't guarantee that it will, since I still don't really know what I'm doing. to lighten that area up a little bit. Like just that whole area right here. And then there's, what is that, the bounce light? Is that what that's called? Bounce light? Isn't that what it's called? Or is like light on the opposite side still? I don't know. Alright. This is looking interesting, is what I'm gonna say. Interesting. We should shade some around this, which, since there's pencil lead on this, I actually can do that just with the pencil. Or that's not a pencil, you know what I mean. With the thing. Now, we're gonna try to get a joystick in here. Alright. Then we need, I don't know, maybe this big of a circle. I feel like I should have picked a different object now that I'm actually like trying to do this. Or I should have placed this not right next to my fucking light. Which is making the shadows a lot harder and a lot less at the same time. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to do it right here. Who knows? But whatever. What are you gonna do? Alright, this does not look like it. Alright, we're gonna try to make some edits to it. You know, use an eraser to try to make it better. Is it because we didn't make the drawing as good as we could have? Or is it because I just still don't really know what I'm doing? I think it's a little bit of both. This is what I'm gonna say, because that is actually what I think it is. I think it's a little bit of me not knowing what I'm doing, and a little bit of the drawing not being as good as I could have drawn it. That's definitely not horrible, but it's not like, oh wow, this is amazing. I definitely feel like I need to figure out what I'm supposed to do more. Because, well, considering I am kind of just doing this blind. I did say I was doing a course, but the course hasn't really taught us this yet. I'm going ahead because I'm lazy, or impatient, I mean. So, yeah, it could be that. Could be me just not understanding it. I'm gonna chalk it up to skill issue on my part. So, yeah. I think I just do not currently have the necessary skills to execute this yet. Although I'm going to continue practicing it anyways, because practice makes perfect, or whatever they say. I'm gonna call that there. See ya.